All right, listen to that. Terry Barber, a countertenor with a huge vocal range and so great at so many music styles. Actually, as we were watching that video, we're lucky to have him in studio, but you were going through and pointing out each one of your members, and you're saying, I mean, everybody's got so much talent up there. It's amazing that you get to work with people like that.
It really was a dream team for this Christmas Presents album. Stephen Epstein has 17 Grammys for Classical Producer of the Year, so he produces music for Wynton Marsalis, Bobby McFerrin, Yo-Yo Ma, Placido Domingo, and so it's always been on my career bucket list to get to do something with him. And then the arranger Garth Neustadter has an Emmy and has just done music for commercials like for Samsung and Progressive.
That's amazing.
So
lots of stuff. The reason you're here today, though, we should talk about is because you're performing in the area. You'll be in Portsmouth tonight at 7:30, and this is really cool because it's your first part of a Christmas tour almost that you're doing, and we're kicking it off.
Exactly. This is the first. It's called Christmas Presents, just aligned with my album. And it is all your favorite Christmas music. So there's going to be some classical, because that's who I am. So Messiah and Christmas Oratorio, but also classics like Oh Holy Night, and some even contemporary songs like Mary Did You Know, Believe from Polar Express.
Wow, that's a good one.
You like that one?
Yes, everybody loves Polar Express.
I do too,
no
and my
matter
kids
what
love it too.
Yeah.
So they love that I'm doing that. And I'm joined by a really wonderful trio too. I've got a multi-instrumentalist, Ryan Walsh, who's a regular sub with the New York Philharmonic. He plays oboe, English horn, bassoon, saxophone, flute, clarinet. Tonight he's playing 3 of those. We'll have unique arrangements of really everyone's favorite Christmas music.
That is really cool stuff. And let's talk about you as a countertenor, because I'll be honest, I didn't know exactly what that was when you first sent it, when we were talking about it, but that means you can do so many different things. You have this huge range. Talk about that.
So countertenor is the rarest of voice types, and it means a man who sings higher than tenor. That's the easiest way to describe it. But if you think about it, tenor is what we associate with the highest male singing. So countertenors comfortably sing in the range of women. In my tour, I always use my lower voice too, my man voice, if you will, because I think that I want to use my entire range as an effort to entertain. And so most countertenors would only sing in the alto, mezzo-soprano, or even soprano range. I'm more of a mezzo-soprano. So in this tour, I'll be singing works for baritone, tenor, alto, and mezzo-soprano.
Awesome. So we get to hear a whole different variety of things going on, and we got a little preview of that when we started off the top. We heard a little bit of that going on, which is really neat. So let's talk about your career in general. One thing we were discussing before the interview, which I thought was amazing, was you can sing in what, 14 different languages, we said? How do you get that down?
Well, it's the same process. You learn, if you study music and voice, they expect that you are working on German, French, Italian, English, Latin. And so that same process is one that I've developed further. When I was touring with Chanticleer, a group that has a couple of Grammys, we did a program in 14 languages. I developed my own program, which half of the songs on this album, if you flip it over, it says Around the World in 80 Minutes, are from that tour. And so it's the world's favorite melodies in 10 languages, songs like Danny Boy and Bésame Mucho, La Vie en Rose, really one song to represent a country in all these different languages. The process is similar, as I said, for any language. Of course, you want to have a poetic translation so you understand the general gist of the song, but then you need a literal translation so that you can understand each word that you're saying as you're singing it.
I always wondered if artists did that, if they were just, learning how to say things and singing it, or if they actually knew what they were saying, which is great that you actually do.
If they're really good, then they should.
Yes. And let's talk a little bit too, because I was reading a little bit about you, and we just saw some clips of you singing, and we know that you tour a lot. You've been to some really cool places. You performed with really big name people. I saw Madonna, Jewel, that kind of thing. Talk about that. What's it like?
Sure. So I started out doing classical, and I think when you have a classical foundation, it allows you to then say yes to a lot of different things. So you know what your voice can do with health, and you have a technique. And I think it's similar in all the arts. If you watch So You Think You Can Dance, you can see that the classically trained dancer can jump from genre to genre. So as projects have come to me where I was asked to sing backing vocals for Jewel's Christmas album, or I was asked to do a new age project for the Buddha Bar series, and was on an album with Madonna and Chaka Khan and Cyndi Lauper, I was able to say yes to those things because I knew my voice would be able to do that. I heard the project and I said, okay, that's within my range. of color and style. I don't just do classical. I love classical, and there is that element in every one of my programs, but there's also pop and new age and jazz and musical theater recordings that I've done. So I just love music, and I haven't done any hip hop or country yet.
Well, we'll be waiting
like
for
rap.
that. I want to hear it. Let's go back to Christmas, though, because you are kicking off a little Christmas tour here in Portsmouth. I want to show everybody, this is you singing a clip of Oh Holy Night. Let's listen to that for a second.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth.
That is beautiful. And again, we want to mention you are singing that tonight, I'm guessing.
For sure.
And also, if you can't make it tonight to his performance in Portsmouth, you have another one coming up in Athens on December 3rd.
That's correct, and it's a different program. So tonight I'll be singing Oh Holy Night, and also a new Christmas song that I co-wrote with Jean Shear called Christmas Once More. Of course, if you go to terrybarber.com, you can listen to these things for free, a lot of them. I have some videos there, and also you can see on my tour schedule how to get to the concert tonight at the Vern Rife Center if you need the address, or the address on the 3rd, which is, well, what I might say is a serious classical performance, except for that I'm really not a serious classical person. I want to invite people in and make sure that they enjoy and connect with classical arts.
All right, Terry, we have loved having you. Thank you so much again. You can check out that show tonight in Portsmouth. We'll have the information on where you can get tickets posted online. Also, you can get his album. It will be, you'll have these selling them at your concert tonight. You can also pick it up on iTunes. And you'll come back and see us if you're ever back in the area, I hope.
I would love to.
All right,
Thanks for inviting
Terry.
me.
We'll be right back.